Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ICS321, and it's August 5th today. We're in the second to the last week of class. And so today I'd like to just go over the last chapter in side books and maybe talk a little bit about the forum. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here we are. This is the student version. I'm wearing a baseball cap there. And so we are in this week. No. Yeah, we're in this week, and I was just going to go through these some of the Xylabs. I've covered everything. I believe I've covered everything in chapter 7. I've shown you, two different ways of making each of the 3 APIs. I've done the stored procedure, and the rest of these are pretty straightforward. If you have any questions on those, I can track down a video, I think, to help you with that, or there's always next week. And also, I didn't talk too much. I didn't cover these chapters too much in the Xy books. I'm not sure how much I can add to them, to these chapters, just by lecturing. This is the first time I've gone through these chapters in this amount of detail with this textbook. It always takes a couple semesters when you're adapting a new textbook. But so just go through the exercise, and there aren't really any real live exercises, hands-on exercises I can present to you to cover some of these topics in chapters 7, 8, and 9. In fact, next semester I've rearranged and taken out some stuff. But anyway, and also next semester I've actually moved. This is the chapter where you presumably learn SQL for the first time, and I've actually moved this chapter up to chapter 3, and I've attached all of these labs down here to various sections in chapter 3. But anyway, so this, I think, is probably your chapter 12. I think is probably the most important chapter that covers what the skill you should have when you leave this class. These chapter 12 SQL statements should be like real easy. And so let's go through these to make sure we know what's going on. Okay, so let's just take a look at the first one. We have select movie ratings with a left join. So here we're using a left join, which we covered in chapters 3 and 4. And we have this is the default template. Shoots. I thought I cleared that. All right, anyway, so let's get started with this. Okay, so write a select statement to select these things and display all the movies, whether or not a rating code is available. So there's one. Oh, we've got 2 tables, a movie table and a rating table. Okay, so first of all, it's a select statement. Select. And it is these 3 fields. So I'm just going to put these here. Take out that. Take out this. Because this is the name of a field, of the field we want. This is the name of the field we want, and so is this. Okay, and they're all different names, so we don't need to put the table prefix. All these names are distinct, right? So this is called rating code. This is just called code. They're all distinct. So we don't need to prefix it with a table. From, and it's a join, and we are taking stuff. We want just to display all the movies, and that means that let's start by joining. Let's start with the movie table. Start with movie table. From movie. And then we do the left join. So let me bring this up here. Let's see, let me clear this. Oh, I'm supposed to use the pen, I think. Okay, so we have a movie table here. Movie table, and we want to display all these movies regardless. So we want to select the title of your description for movie, and then if there is a description, or if there is a rating code, which should come from here, and that would include a description, then we want that to be there. Otherwise, we don't need that information. So that means that the rating code can be like attached to some of these, and when there is no rating code, then those fields end up being null. So when there's no rating code, then description, which comes from the rating table, will end up being null. So anyway, so let's do this. Rating, that's the name of this table, and we have to tell it what the join fields are. So on and rating code equals code, and then we want to do a where. No, we don't need to do a where. No, we don't even need to do, because we're just going to display the whole table. Let's see if this works. Let's see. Let's run this program. And yeah, so this one, there must not be a rating code for dangerous lies, and so that's no. Let's see if they accept it. The solution in the book has us put table prefixes on here, but I'm saying we don't need it. Okay, good. So it's flexible. All right, so I gave you that one. Let's look at the next one. Select employees and managers with inner join. So employee table has these columns. Oh, and this is a manager ID, which I bet is an ID back, which I bet is like this ID. All right, so now we have to label the tables, because we're going to use this table twice. We're going to join this table with itself, because we want to get the name of a manager. Okay. So it starts out with a select always, and we want to list employees' first names and their managers. List of all employees' first names and their managers' first names. List only employees that have a manager. Okay. All right. I see we use inner join that way. Okay. Well, I don't. First name of the employee. All right. So, okay, I'm just gonna go from employee, and I'm gonna put an alias. This is here. I'm actually selecting from the employees table. Okay, so I'm going to call that E, and then I'm going to do I guess I do inner join employee, and this is for the managers. And it's like I will be referencing this table. It's this field of this table referencing this field of this table, and it's the same table. So I need to do E of manager equals manager table of the ID of the manager table. Okay, so first I want to, let's see, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to try doing this first. I want to see if it let me do that, because I want to take a look at these tables. Do I see these tables anywhere? I don't. So I want to see if this will let me take a look at the tables. I'm going to just cut that out and run it. It doesn't even let me run it. All right, forget it. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put this in. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Okay, this gives me the whole table, and we see that all these people have managers, and so Ryan's manager is David. David does not have a manager. David must be the top dog, and then Dwight and Jim and Pam have Michael as a manager. Are there any, like, yeah, and Michael has got Ryan as a manager, and Ryan's got David as a manager. Okay, so it's kind of nested here. A lot of levels to the tree. Okay, so anyway, we want to so let's display out the managers. So I'm going to paste this out there, and so I want to select the employee first name. And I want to see employee last name. And then I'm going to see, I guess I want to see the manager's first name. And I want to see the manager's last name. And I think that's enough. Okay, and I guess I want to do where dot manager ID is greater than 0. Okay, list only employees that have a manager. Okay, so I want to take a look at this first, and then I know that I'm going to get rid of the last names because it only asks for the first names. But okay, so let me see what this looks like. Okay, so so David Walsh is only on the manager side. So I could like this as something like that, and that would put a better title up there. But anyway, I guess we only want first names and first order by first name. Oh, use aliases. Oh, employee and manager. Got it. Okay, so this is going to be as employee, and I don't need this one, and this is going to be as manager, and I don't need this one. And we got to order by Now, I'm pretty sure with order, I can use that instead of having to use that. So I'm gonna, by the way, I'm gonna see what this, okay. The answer sheet says it has to be that. But I'm pretty sure for order, okay, for sure it has to be this if it's in the where clause. But I think okay, so I'm just gonna see. So I'm gonna order by employee, see if that works. See what this does. Yeah, it's definitely ordered by employee. All right, I'm gonna see if it accepts this as the right answer. Ah, good. Yes. All right. All right. So those were harder. I'm going to try not to give you the answer to this one. Let's see. It has three tables. It's got a horse table and a student table, and it's got a lesson schedule. And the lesson schedule has a horse ID and a student ID, which refers back to these IDs. And so this is the partial. Okay, so this table can have a horse ID and a student ID. Can have more, can have an instance of that pair, that same pair more than once. So then there's a lesson date time that is also part of the primary key. I would call, yeah, primary key. I see. They don't really need, they wouldn't need to combine. You can only use, a horse can only be used by one student at a time. So I think this plus this would be the primary key. And this is kind of like data. Okay, I'm talking about of this table. All right, so I'm supposed to yeah, matching the student ID. So select statement to create a lesson schedule with the lesson date. Select lesson date. Okay, the horse ID. And the student's last and first names. Okay, so I got to go here. Student, so I can just call it first name and last name. Okay, so those are the select fields, the projection. Order the results in ascending order. So I'm gonna, might as well throw that in there. Okay, it's gonna be from something. Okay, let's do the from. From, now we're gonna be displaying we're basically displaying every record in the lesson schedule. We're displaying every record in the lesson schedule, but in this lesson schedule, there's a horse ID, and then this gives us the information about the horse. Which, by the way, we aren't asking for any information about the horse. So, in fact, we don't even need this table. It's just these two tables that we need. So from these two tables, and I'm going to put a parentheses here because I want you to do this. From some table, table 1, it says, does it say perform a join on the student lesson tables matching student IDs? It doesn't, there's going to be there's going to be a horse ID for every horse. There is going to be a horse ID for every horse ID here, and there's going to be the same with students. So we don't have to worry about you know, whether or not it's an inner join or an outer join, or yeah, right. So so when in doubt, you can do inner join, and then table 2 on something. Okay, on something equals something. Okay, so you fill that in, and then you want to sort it. You want to sort it by lesson, date, and time, then by horse ID. So you want to first sort by order by this. Oh, this and this. I can go like this. And horse ID. Okay, so it's too bad they don't say like horse name or something. So we're first sorting by lesson, date, and time, and then by horse ID. So lesson, date, and time, then by horse ID, and it's an ascending order. So that's the default. So we don't have to type ascending here or ascending here. And let's see, this is the this is exactly what the solution is, and you just have to fill this in with one of these, and then you fill this in with one of these. You fill this in with this one because this is the thing you're running off of, and then you want to join in the tables. In fact, I think this will work. This makes more sense to me, just because you're taking this table, and you want this no matter what. And if there's a horse ID, it's not a horse ID. If there's a student ID, then you want to bring along this information. Otherwise, if there's no student ID, then, or if there's no record in here that matches this thing, then it's going to be null fields, and there shouldn't be. So unassigned lesson times student ID is null, should not appear. So there shouldn't be those. I should read these assignments before I start talking about them. So then you don't want them to appear. Now there's a couple of ways that you can make them not appear. One is where, but it's better just to use inner join. So there has to be something on both sides. There can't be any nulls on either side when you do inner join. So that should work. And so, all right, so that's all I'm going to tell you for that. I'm going to submit it when what's wrong. All right, so what about this one? Sorry. Select lesson schedule with multiple joins. To see how far I'm going to go. I'll go maybe halfway. So select lesson schedule with multiple joins. Same thing. Except for this time, write a select statement to create a lesson schedule for February 1st, or just a specific date, with the lesson date and time, the students' first and last names, and the horse's registered name. Okay, so now we're joining all three of them. Wow, this one's pretty complicated. Okay, this time you want unassigned times to appear in the results. You want unassigned times. I see. In the last ones, Yeah, I guess my thinking was wrong. The schedule would pre-exist. The schedule table pre-exists, and then student IDs are filled in. Okay, it's not the case where when there's a match of when a date is made, when a lesson date is made, then it's entered into the database. Okay, I think the way this database works, judging by the fact that there can be null student fields, is that the lesson schedule is predetermined, probably by the availability of courses and people to work, and then as the schedule fills up, student IDs are filled in. All right. So so we're going to select this and the name of the horse. So select the lesson date and time, yeah, because it's going to have the time, and that would be lesson date time. We want that, and we want the student's first name and last name, and we want the horse's registered name. Registered name. That's this field. That's this field. Okay, so that's what we want, and we want it from all of these joined together. Oh, starting with lesson schedule. From lesson schedule, yeah, we want all of the lesson schedule fields. Left join student on student ID equals student ID student. I guess I better name these things. Are there any common? Yeah, there's. See, this same name as this. So if I have this anywhere, I've got to prefix it with student. So that means I have to label these things. So I'm going to call this one L, even though I don't think I'm going to need it. And I'm going to call this one S. And so it's on student ID equals SID. And then we want left join horse ID. No, left join, what's the horse? Horses, horse. HORSE on horse ID equals, I'm going to call this table H of ID. Okay, so that'll take care of the thing I want to join together. And oh, it's got to be on this day. Okay, now now I'm not sure that this. Okay, so I'm not sure I need this function. So I'm going to try without this date function, where lesson time or lesson date time. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, let's see what happens when I do this. What's the date? 2020-02-01. I'm going to see if this works. This is going to be a date time field. All right, so first of all, I'm just going to do this. I want to see them all. Okay, there's a bunch of them. Oh, there's some on the third. Oh, there's just one on the third. Okay. All right. All right, so I want to see if I can just put the date in there, and I want to see if this is smart enough just to capture all of them with this date. So how many of them are there? Well, we'll see. Well, anyway, we'll see. I want to see if this works. Run. Doesn't work. Doesn't. Because this is a date time and this is a date. Well, one way to do it is, I think, is to do it this way. You can go date less than date time is greater than or equal to 00:00:00, and it's less than or equal to, and it's less than or equal to 23:59:15. Okay, let's see if that works. Run the program. Well, look at that. Oh, what happened to? Oh, that just means. Okay, is that what it was before? I think it was what it was before. One, two, three. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, all right. Now, are we supposed to have it ordered in some way? Let me see again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Doesn't seem like they're all here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One, 4. How's that? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 2 more. I wonder why that is. All right, so I'm going to do it the way they suggest to do it. That is where the date of this equals that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it's the same. I wonder why that is. Can I? Okay, so I'm gonna submit this and see if it works. What? My result, expected result. Oh, I'm losing names or not. Oh, did I not order them the right way? Oh, order the results. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll let you fix it. Okay, I'll let you fix it. I think that's the only problem. All right, what's next? Alter the, okay, now we're going to do the alter statement, looks like. Okay, so we have a movie table that looks like this. It's got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 table, 5 fields, and we want to add a producer column, remove the genre column, and change the name of the that to this. Instead of an integer, make it a small integer. All right. Well, it's for altering. You're altering the table each time, so you're going to have alter. Let's try to do. You're going to have alter table, and then the name of the table, which is going to be movie. Okay. And then you're either going to add, or you're going to remove is going to be drop, or you're going to do a change thing. Okay, so minus my SQL alter table. Alter table, and you can add a column, or see, we're gonna we are adding a column, so we're doing this. So the first thing we're doing is we're adding this column, and it's going to be varchar 50. So we're going to add column, and this word is optional. And then the column name, and then the column definition. And the column definition is what we mean by like varchar or whatever is adding some column. All right, this isn't helpful for you because you have to know what this is. So let's just go back to so you can do add column producer. The name of it is producer. And then you got to put the column definition, which is varchar 50. All right, I'm going to see if I get points for this one. I got all the points for the first one. I didn't get anything for the rest of them. All right. So you need to, the next one is removing. So that would be like alter table. There's no remove. Drop. Remove, oh no. Oh, there's 11 of them. This one says to use the word drop, and oh, it does. That's right. Okay, that's what we use. We use the word drop. Let me go back up to the top here. Drop column name. Okay, it's that simple. So we can just do alter table. In fact, what I'm going to do is you have to put them all together, but it will be drop. Is it drop? And we can put column name in there. So it can be drop, and this will drop. This would drop producer, but I want to drop genre. So we only have to put the name of it there. And that would drop. And then change. Okay, so what is change? Is there a change? Oh, here's change. Okay, change column name, which is optional. From the old column name to the new column name to the new column definition. Okay. And none of these are optional. So you got to specify every one of them. So what we're doing here, oh, by the way, how did this one do? Oh, I got these points. I got the genre column. Okay, good. So the last one is, oh, does this tell me the answer down here? No, it doesn't. So the last one is I'm going to change, and it turns out this is optional. So this time I'm going to prove it, leave it out, and then I have to do the old column name. Old column name, new column definition. The old column name is called year, and the new column name is going to be release year. And I'm going to change it to a small int. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that that'll work for the last one. And you have to put all three of them in the same SQL document to get them all right. All right, so you can take care of that one. What's next? Leave. Okay, here we're going to use foreign key. Okay, create lesson schedule table. Okay, so we have this horse. We have the horse, and we have the student, and we have the same lesson schedule table. SQL statements here. Okay, so we have the horse table, we have the student table. Oh, and we're supposed to create this table. Oh, we're supposed to create the table, but we're supposed to put the foreign keys in there. Well, I always had PHP My Admin help me. What happens if I have PHP My Admin help me right now? Okay, so how would I do that? Let me go to Joe Schmo. And I'm going to go to cPanel. And I'm going to log in. Is this going to work? Oh, shoots. And I'm going to go to my, I'm going to go to, I'm just going to go over to MySQL databases, and I'm just going to create a test database here. Big deal. And that's fine. That's all I need to do. And then I'm going to go over to, go back to here and go to PHP My Admin. This is really a roundabout way to do it. You could probably just go up here and go back to the textbook and figure out what the answer is. But so I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to take take this here. This should work. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm in my test, and I'm going to no tables. I'm going to go to SQL. And I'm just going to paste it, and I'm going to run this. Boom! Here we are. I got a horse table. I have a horse table. I have a student table. Nice table, auto increment. That's nice. And now I want to create this table. All right, so I'm gonna pop this out, put it over here. Let's see what I'm doing. Put this over here. And I'm gonna create a new table. Go back to new. Here's a new table. Now I can put this in. And I'm gonna call it lesson schedule. So copy, paste, and I'm going to have a horse ID, which is going to be a regular integer. Oh, yeah, huh? Same as, must be the same as this, small int. 65,000. Oh, that is a small integer. That's only 2 bytes. So it is small int. Okay, unsigned. It's going to be that one. Small int unsigned. Small int s. So the small int is unsigned. Okay, small int. And where do I say unsigned? Attributes. Unsigned. There we go. Okay, that's one. Oh, and it's part of the. Oh, and part of the primary key, partial primary key. So let me just go primary. Not quite. I'm not done yet. Second one is going to be student ID. And that's the same small int. Okay, I got to put that reference in there. And then the third one is lesson date. And it's a date time. Date time. And it is not null, or the primary key. Okay, it's not null. Okay. All right. Now because it doesn't say not null, I'm going to assume this can be null. And when you think about it, it can be null because, I mean, because it's undefined. It could be just leave it blank. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this can be null, the student ID. All right. And so and by the way, I'm going to save this as an INNODB because the primary key constraints and so on are not enforced with the default. So I'm going to save it like that. What did I do? What do you mean it doesn't exist in the table? Oh, no. Lesson date. What happens if I do this? Does that make me save it? Oh, this is very weird. Okay, let me it's a new table. Okay, I'm gonna go back to here, and I'm gonna create a new table here called lesson schedule. Here it is. And it only has 3. What time is it? Okay, we still have time. And I'm gonna say course ID, and I'm gonna say student ID, and I'm gonna say time, and this is a small int, and this is a small int, and this is a date time, and I'm gonna see if this saved that. Okay, that's saved, and 6 digits. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna change this so this can be null. And I'm gonna make these 2 things the primary key. And I wanna go back to here, and I wanna change them to INNODB. They're all the same collation, which is good. So let me just go to structure, operations, INNODB. Operations, INNODB. Structure operations, INNODB. And then I want to go to lesson schedule, and I want to click on relation view. And I want to say that course ID goes to the course table ID, and that student ID goes to the student ID. I wonder why it's not letting me do that. Okay, well, anyway, in theory that should have worked, but it's getting late, so I'm gonna skip that and just go right to the answer, which is well, the first we did have the first part there. Did I? Lesson schedule. If I go to export custom view as text, go, I at least have this part. So let me copy that. Oh, and there's the primary key thing down there. So let me copy this and go back to here. And that's going to be down here. And I guess I don't really need these stupid, I could have taken those out when I exported this. And this looks pretty good. Unsigned. This might not matter. And but anyway, so to this we have to add comma primary key, and we can just define it as course ID and lesson date time. That's the primary key. and the foreign, and then we need to add a foreign key. That can be like course ID, references, course ID, the ID field in the course table, and then these attributes here on delete. Doesn't matter. Cascade. So if you delete I guess if you delete a student or if you delete a horse, it's going to delete out of this table also. And then you want to do the same thing for there's going to be one more, and that is for the student ID, because you want to do that foreign key. So this isn't quite right. This isn't quite right. I'm going to run this and see what this says. Do I have a, oh, yeah, it didn't get rid of that backward substitution. Wow. Doesn't like the parentheses. Hmm. $16. Gee, I'm not sure what's going on here. Field equals horse ID. So I small hit. Sign not no. Well, okay. This is different than what. Let's see if that does it. Okay, it's the same error from lesson ID.
I think on line 21, there's a comma after cascade.
Oh, yes. Really? Gee, is that it? Yeah, you're not supposed to have a trailing comma there. Oh, that would be, maybe there should be a semicolon there also. So let me try putting a semicolon. Okay, well that's closer. All right, so yeah, that missing semicolon. All right, so so this looks like this will work. I don't know if we could have left the parentheses in there. Probably could have, but there's one line that's missing here. All right, so I'll let you fix that. The last thing I wanted to show you, and I'm just going to post this up on the screen. and that is your forum questions. What I'm doing with those is I am taking, there's two sets. These are the Ask Your Instructor, and I've named it something different in the future, but these are, this is communication between you and the class and me, because the class can see this, where you initiate the conversation, or you initiate the dialogue. And in these here are ones where we initiate the dialogue. Now, I'm working towards a general set of questions that I can actually use more in my programming classes. So some of these questions didn't relate a lot to databases, but what I'm doing is I'm taking the range of answers that you folks are giving me, and I'm coming up with what I hope is some sort of general rubric. And the rubric would look something like this right now. And so this is the question, basically, of these are all 11, and this is the question, and these are like sub questions, and basically to an excellent answer is this column, a very good answer is this column, and a good answer is this column, and there are no not so good answers. This here I was trying to relate it to databases, but so you only have to, respond to 5 of these and a couple of sentences, and you'll get all the points. But in the future, I'm going to try to work with a rubric, more of a rubric like this. And so I'm trying to take like the best ones that I see that you guys do, and the minimum, I don't want to say minimal, but the quick answer versions of what you post. And this is the rubric that I've come up with so far. And this is 1 through 4. And here's 5 through 9. And the reason I'm going slowly like this is so you can stop the video and see this is 10. I didn't really have too much for 10. But the later ones are a little bit simpler to think about an answer. The earlier ones were much more thought-provoking. I did all of them. I answered all of them, and I did spend a lot of time understanding machine learning and so on, and I wasn't that up on that. Now I am. Quantum computing is very interesting, and so here when we're asking about to give your comments, sometimes you search the web and you'll read about a description, 3 or 4 or 5 sentence description. It'll sound pretty good. You understand it for the most part, and you put that down. That's good. That's very good. If you can, actually relate TensorFlow and quantum computing, and if you search the web and think about it enough, you can come up with that answer. But keep in mind, you have a choice. You'll always have a choice, and 5 out of 11 is a pretty flexible there. So anyway, I wanted you to see this rubric. If you're having trouble getting going, it's obviously not done yet, because I'm going to finish it after you folks are all done. So anyway, so that's pretty much all I have today. And I will next week I'll finish going over the rest of the SQL questions. And if you have any other things you want me to cover next week is the last week, you just let me know.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, see you next week.
Yeah, thanks.